Hello, welcome to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. Once again, this is your host, Iggy. Hi, guys. Well, we're back with G.I. Joe, and I think we'll start off right away on the left here with a figure that kind of puzzled me when I first saw it. When I opened up a box of 40th anniversary G.I. Joe things, this guy right here was on the top. And I go, what the hell is this? I couldn't figure out what this was. And then my memory started to kick in and I figured out who he was. The reason I didn't recognize him is because he was not in his box. And this fella here is a masterpiece uh, collection G.I. Joe. And the boxes look like these fellas over here. And they had one of each of the services. And the one I showed you here is a Marine, and he came in a box that featured the Marine. There's some original artwork on the side of the box. The box was made of a very heavy, sturdy cardboard, and it was like a book or like an album that you would have in your library up on the shelf. In fact, I imagine many of you must display your masterpiece collection in that manner. Each one came with a book, and the book would have that branch of service on its cover. For instance, the Marine, which you see here, had a book that showed a Marine on the cover of the book. Now, this one is out of the package because I sold the book. I read the book and then I kept a copy of the book because I keep hiccuping. Sorry. Um, what was I saying before I started hiccuping? I was saying that's the best thing I've ever seen. No, why is that light reflecting like that? Let's move that. See if we can. That's one of the hazards of filming when you've got plastic. The light reflects right off of it, and it looks terrible. That's much better, isn't it? So I read the book and I sold it, another copy of it, the Marine copy, for I think it was $18 or $20. I was okay with that. That wasn't too bad because a lot of times with books, if you go to a garage sale, people have to sell them for $1. And if it's not $1, the person shopping will go, well, that's a ripoff. You need to lower your prices. And you're like, $1 is too much? But anyway, I've had some bitter experience with that in the past. Uh, so I read the book and then I kept the one that was for the Army because I was in the Army. So people ask, well, why did you join the Army? And I said, because, guys, I'll be honest with you. And, a lot of guys, they have trouble speaking the truth like this, but I was afraid to join the Marines. I thought I wouldn't make it. As a matter of fact, when I joined the Army, I almost didn't make that. I was in such poor physical condition because I was 24 years old. Actually, I was 24 when I went. I was almost 25. I turned 25 while I was in advanced individual training. I was at Fort Knox. And I had a hard time, and I got called into the drill sergeant's office, and they sat me down, and they said, "Well, we see that you failed your first PT test, and there's no shame in not making it. If you sign these papers, we'll discharge you. No harm, no foul. It won't count against you as dishonorable, and you can go your way." And I started to cry. God, Iggy is such an idiot. And I said, please, please, I've failed at almost everything I've done in life. I was only 25 and I'm talking like I'm an old man. I said, please, I cannot fail at this. I must succeed. I said, I will try very hard. Just give me a chance. And they were very reluctant. Another sergeant was there, his assistant, and they were shaking their heads like, this is not a good idea. And I said, please, I won't disappoint you. I promise. I don't want to disappoint myself with yet another failure. And so they let me go. By the end of basic training, I could outrun almost everyone in my platoon. When I first did the 2-mile run, it took me almost 22 minutes. I think it was 22 minutes. Guys, you can walk faster at 22 minutes. I was doing it in less than 13 when I left. I was doing in 60 seconds, I think I did 60 sit-ups. The pull-ups or push-ups were rather harder for me, but I did succeed in doing the 50 that they required. And so I passed all my physical training tests with flying colors. And they were very pleased with me. And I probably shouldn't brag about it, but when you almost get thrown out and they got the papers for you to sign, I have to brag a little bit. So I'm sorry that I did that. I'm, of course, in very horrible shape now. I wouldn't even be able to walk 2 miles in 22 minutes. I probably could walk 2 miles in an hour now. I am in very bad shape now. Why did I go into that? Oh, I was telling you why I kept the Army book is because I was in the Army. My dad did not want me to join the Army. This is going to be embarrassing to talk about also, but my dad was convinced that I would be raped. You can't imagine how that hurt my feelings when my dad indicated that he thought it was a bad idea because I would be molested. And when I was in the Army, I was never molested, although I had several sergeants saying they wanted to, if war was declared, the first thing they were going to do was to penetrate my perimeter, so to speak. That's not the words they used. I never complained about it. I just kept quiet. But I never experienced any real trouble other than some creepy comment from a sick sergeant. But the reason for that is because I was cute. And if a guy hasn't seen a girl in a long time and he sees me and I look like a girl, that's how it happened. And I was also not very, macho, tough guy. But I was very smart because what I did is there was a big, I won't say his name because I don't have his permission, but he's a big black guy. He was really big. And I came up to him and I said, I want to be your friend. And he said, okay. And he told my platoon, he said, anyone messes with him has to deal with me. And not one person dared hit me or do anything. Even when I made a smart-ass remark to the psychotic company bully, he never touched me because he didn't want to deal with this guy either. What happened is I was shaving in the morning and the back of my towel fell off and you could see my butt. And he was looking in the mirror shaving and he said, hey, so-and-so, I don't want to see your ass when I'm shaving. And I said, well, I can see how you might get the two mixed up. He said, "Hey, are you making fun of me?" And everyone got real quiet because they thought, but then he stopped because he remembered who my friend was. So if you're not a big, tough guy, you need to be smart. And when I was in my Civil War group, my friend Doug, I was friends with him, and he was one of the biggest guys in our group. And he didn't let anyone mess with me. In fact, I was very popular in my Civil War group. But nobody messed with me initially because of Doug. I mean, they used to call Doug Sasquatch or Bigfoot because he was pretty big. Anyway, that's more than you wanted to ever know about Iggy. I joined the Army National Guard in 1977, I think it was, after I broke up with my girlfriend, and I think I was 21. And so I thought, well, I need to do something. I don't know what to do. So I joined the Army National Guard. My dad had a fit. He didn't want me to go into the military. He said, you need to stay in college. So I had to go back down to the recruitment office and tell them, I'm sorry, I can't do this. They were pretty pissed. But I ended up joining anyway because I knew it was something that I wanted to do and had to do. And what happened is there was the Iranian hostage crisis, and I thought we would probably end up going to war. So I enlisted. And it turns out that when Ronald Reagan was elected president, they let the hostages go. And I was in basic training when Reagan was elected. In fact, I was in basic training when Reagan was shot. And I remember they piled us all up into trucks and they said that we're going to war, and everyone was scared. And I wasn't scared because I said to the sergeant, we're not going to war. We're not going anywhere. And he said, what do you mean, smart ass? And I said, because even during World War II, men finished basic training before they went off to war, and we're not done yet. And of course, Iggy was right. We got off the trucks and went back to our barracks. So false alarm. They just wanted to get us excited, I guess. Okay, so that's enough diversion. That's way too much personal history. You guys came for the collectibles. I suppose I'm going to lose another 10 subscribers. In fact, every time I post a video, I have people dropping out. My style of presentation is not to everyone's liking. So, in other words, I've had one video that's got 8,000 views, but there's only a little over 500 subscribers. So that means there's 7,500 people who can't stand me. But, that's okay. Not everyone's going to like you, right? And nor should they. Everyone has their quirks and whatnot. Okay. So where am I going with all that? That all started because of the Masterpiece Edition and the book. Well, this is what this Joe was. Masterpiece Edition. And what it was is inside this album, you would open the cover, and on one side was a book, which I already described to you, and on the other was this figure here. So I kept the figure, and since I had the book with the Army guy, I felt okay selling the book. So next up is the Collectors Club exclusive. And I spoke about this figure many times already, but what I haven't shown you is something unique about this one over here. Now, this is the last one that I'll be able to show you. I've already showed you, I think, 3 of them. This one is slightly different. Let's take a look. Sorry, I'm going to have to rush through the rest of this so I can get ahead. All right, here. I should have made a head start before I tried to get ahead. But I'm heading the correct direction now. Look at that, guys. Tom Hanks. Isn't that cool? Now, I altered this somewhat. The original helmet he was wearing was shiny OD green, and I painted it a flat color. And also I took out the foam, what I call ear muffs, which you can see in this photograph. I took those out and sanded the interior and painted it. Now this head sculpt I got at a G.I. Joe convention in 2007. My poor brother went with me to that convention, and he must have been, my brother Robert, he must have been bored out of his mind. And to this day, my brother can't figure out why I'm obsessed with collecting toy soldiers. When he was a boy, he was into sports and collecting baseball cards, and he collected coins. He had an excellent coin collection, and someone broke into his house and stole all of them. They even stole a gold pocket watch that belonged to our great-grandfather. The watch was, I think, from the 1870s or something like that. So here's the Normandy Ranger. And he's dressed as Tom Hanks was in the movie Saving Private Ryan. And let's look at inside the box so you can get a look at what was in it. And it came with the Browning automatic rifle, M1A1 Thompson submachine gun, an E-tool, which fits on the back of the pack. I'm not sure where it goes, but it fits in the back here. Oh, I see. It goes in that pouch that you see the buckled strap there. And then the handle hangs downward. All right, and I got this from the G.I. Joe Collectors Club. You had to join the club in order to be able to purchase this. But later, when sales of the 40s and other Joes started to decline, they released these to a clearinghouse, and I was able to buy 3 or 4 of them. I'm not sure how exactly. I think I have 4 of them, of which this is one of them that I put the Tom Hanks head on him. Make sure you can see him. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool Tom Hanks figure. Okay, last up. If you're still here, my boring stories probably made you head on out of here. All right, this guy's next. Now, did I have this as a boy? No. I did, in a way, in 1969 or 68. All the other boys were finished with G.I. Joe. And I went to a Woolworths, that we called it the Five and Dime, down by the Thrifty Mart on DeSoto Boulevard. And they had all their G.I. Joe on clearance, and some of the things they had on clearance were these boxed sets, and they also had carded equipment, which came with everything that you see there, except for the Joe and the uniform and helmet. But all the equipment, I bought that. At the time, I also bought a machine gun, cartridge belt and rifles, an Army Marine helmet, or was it an Army helmet? What else did I buy? Did I say sandbags? I bought machine gun, sandbags, rifle, cartridge belt, helmet, and this German stuff. I went back a week later and everything was gone. And they had tons of stuff, tons of these and they were like dirt cheap. I mean, I think that I paid 50 cents for the German carded equipment. A kid up the street gave me the German helmet and the coat, but he didn't have the pants and the boots. So that was the only thing I was missing. Well, and the European style Joe. So let me show you what I got here, because I was able to buy. Maybe I should put on my flashlight. Here we go. I bought some original vintage German pants on eBay, and then I got these jack boots from Cotswold Collectibles, and I got this European style Joe head. He's actually looks a little bit more like G.I. Joe, doesn't he? Let's see if I can give you an example. Well, here's an example of a European head. And you can see that he's a little different. This one is unpainted, a prototype. Do I have a picture of one? No, okay. So let's take him out so you can take a look at him, and then I'll sign off because this video is... Now his joints are really loose now because of, I don't think he's going to stand. I've noticed that while these things are in storage, all the elastic inside his body stretches out and they will no longer stand on their own. See that? If you hold him up, he just bends over backwards. His head doesn't stay up straight anymore either. There's his pack. You'll notice that the cartridge belt is wrong because they didn't give him a Gewehr 98. They gave him a Schmeiser. And look how long the magazine is for that. It's not going to fit in these cartridges, are they? And it also came with a Luger pistol and a couple hand grenades, but I think I only have one grenade left. Let me see. Yeah, I just have one. Originally, I think it came with two. All right, guys, that's it. I need to get out of here because I can even hear you snoring from here. Look at that. There's a SWAT. Ooh, I forgot about eBay's or YouTube's policy on that. So forget that you've seen that. I think it's incorrect too, as in one of the sides of it is, here, I'll take it off screen and look at it. Yeah, it's not completely there, so that's good. Hopefully it can't get in trouble for that. Oh, see, he can't stand. Look at that, guys. All right, well, that's all I got for you for this video. I think I'm going to show you in the next video some 40s. And then after the 40s, I think I'm going to do a castle. Or maybe a Schwimmwagen or an M8 Scout car or something like that. So let me sign off. Thank you for getting Iggy with it, guys. And for the 10 of you who just quit me again, wow, everything's falling apart here. I apologize, and I hope you find someone that can show you things that you're interested in without offending you or making you bored or whatever. And for those of you who do stick around, I appreciate you very much. And I enjoy your comments. And in fact, one of my viewers pointed out that I on the long range Desert Patrol Jeep, I said it had 2 Lewis guns. And he was so nice about it. But he's like, excuse me, those are Vickers. And I'm like, Oops. Um, Iggy usually looks that stuff up. And, if I can't remember, I'll look it up. But sometimes I remember things incorrectly. So there you, Iggy sometimes is a, what could I say? Iggy is a what? What, guys? Iggy is a dumbhead. Ha ha. He's an empty head. Look at that. No brains. This thing's really hard. I noticed that the plastic, after being in storage for 20 years, it gets really hard and brittle. Okay, guys, let me give you a head start so you can get out of here. Oh, that's enough of that, isn't it? Boo. Boo, Iggy sucks. Sorry. Goodbye.